The Do This podcast is part of the Win, Make, Give podcast network. In this episode, Bob Stewart and Chad Hyams sit down with Sarah Tadlock to discuss innovative strategies for scaling real estate businesses by partnering with experienced agents and leveraging technology. Specializing in the integration of experienced agents, Sarah describes her method of constructing a team that can handle 275 to 400 units annually, implementing efficient systems for growth and sustainability. Tune in to the full conversation to gain a comprehensive understanding of Sarah's innovative approaches. We hope you enjoy this episode of the Do This podcast presented by Brivity.
Hello, good morning, Chad Hyams.
Bob Stewart.
Sarah Tadlock. Good to see you.
Hi, good to see you guys.
Hey, I really appreciate you doing this. I happen to know that you're in the middle of a really big move. We're moving into like a new building. It's not too far out in the future. So I imagine there's a million things to be done, but you agreed to take 30 minutes with us today. So thank you for doing that. Really appreciate it.
I'm happy to be here. Any time spent with the two of you is time well invested.
Awesome. Well, to that end then, let's dive in and let's talk about what you've been doing the last 12 months to kind of impact your business. Before we do that, do me a favor. Chad and I know you, but can you introduce yourself to the audience so that everybody knows kind of who you are, where you do business, you know, what that business looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Sarah Tadlock. I am an operator within Place. We run the Collective, which is a team. Our hub is based out of St. Louis, Missouri, and we have allied teams across the state lines over in Illinois. So we are running two, what other people call maybe a expansion team or an allied team. So last year we did around 275 units, and we're on pace to do right around 400 this year with our current team. And we've been scaling through experienced agents, which is what I'm excited to talk to you guys about today.
Scaling through experienced agents. Okay. So as we were kind of setting up for
Bob,
this.
Bob, hang on. Sarah, are they doing yoga in your parking lot?
You know what? I think they're repaving. So we're in the process of moving, but we have an intern out doing a little workout there. So
okay. So right, and that's what my brain turns on to, right? I see someone doing a workout out the window and I'm like, all right, you give them a little congrats from me that they stayed committed to their goals.
100%.
All right, Bob.
All right. So you've been focused last 12 months, and this is what you've been doing to take that business from 275 to 400 on partnering with and then developing experienced agents. So you said you have like an avatar of that person that you're looking to partner with. Can you explain that avatar to us?
Absolutely. So, I believe that teams are the future of our business. When you look at what the industry is really expecting of a realtor, one person doing everything is almost unmanageable at this point. So when, as we've been scaling and building and building the leverage and all of the operations within our world, what I know is that the solo agent, the person doing 24 to 75 units, they're at capacity, right? Everyone's capacity is different, but what is required of a solo agent in this market is vastly different than what was required 10 years ago. So I think that right now in our market or in our industry, those agents are feeling the pressure more than anyone. So I believe that the right partnership it multiplies, it doesn't divide. And so we've built a model that is able to bring these partners in and help them scale their business where it buys back their time and they're actually increasing their net income. And that is what that's what we're looking at right now.
Okay. So you're okay. I see this all the time because you mentioned like they all have a different ceiling. Some of them are 24. Some of them they can get to 40 as their ceiling, and some of them, like my mom, 79 was her ceiling, right? Like but it was her ceiling. Like that was it. She wasn't going beyond that without kind of dipping into this leverage. You see this all. They hit 24. Next year they do 25. The year after that they do 23, and then they start to realize, like, man, I want to break through this, but they don't necessarily know how. How do you find these people to partner with? Like, can we talk? Let's talk for a second about that, and then let's talk about how do you help them go from 24 to 40 or 40 to 60? How do you help make that leap? But where do you find them at? Where do you find people that have a great business anyway, right? Like, it's not like they're probably actively looking for you even.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing is important to note is that right now, what's happening is these solo agents have built these incredible organic businesses. Okay. And right now they're starting to feel go backwards. So where over the last, 3-4 years, we've had really great markets. And they kind of did plateau. But now they're starting to lose traction. And their business is slowly losing that business because it is built off an organic structure, meaning there's no system to protect it. And so what we do know is that the big tech companies, right, our competition is not another agent. It's really the tech companies that we're up against. So that's why making sure that you have the tech to empower you is so key in the future of where we're going. And I know we're going to talk about that today. But to answer your question, for us, I look at people that are already in our world. Okay. My business partner, John Brigham, and I have been doing real estate. I just hit over my 20th year. It's hard to believe, 2 decades in this business. He's been doing it over 10. He's actually the reason I'm in real estate. But it's important, I think, to make sure you're scaling correctly. And so for me, what we look for is a culture fit first. So we're not looking for everyone, right? We are looking for the right culture. And I really feel that if you just stop and pause and think about who you would want to be in business with, you create your top 25 agents that would be an incredible partner, and you start with that list first.
And you're not just saying, don't just go get numbers 1 through 25, right? It's find the culture of those 25 agents that you're looking to bring together, because now you're building a championship team instead of just saying, well, let me go get the highest paid free agents that are out there because obviously they must be awesome. Yet Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez never played well together at all.
Yeah. And I think it's important because I've scaled and I've built the wrong way, right? Where, okay, I saw someone's potential. I knew that they would have value coming in to our world, but I didn't know who we were looking for. And so I was saying yes to everyone. And that was, you just have to learn who your ideal partner is through trial and error and knowing your values. And now we know who we are.
So do you have a missing persons report written out that says the agent that's going to join our team is full-time, about this age, has this balance, whatever it is going on?
100%. So for us, our ideal avatar is someone selling 24 to 75 units. They value leverage, meaning they're willing to let go of the things that are non-dollar productive. They want to build predictability. So they want to know, okay, if I do X, it's going to equal this. We have the recipe and the plan for that. And my big non-negotiable, the 2 things that I look for are, 1, that they demonstrate vulnerability, right? Any long-term relationship has to have transparency and vulnerability. And the second is they've got to be a team player. Okay. They've got to be able to look to the right and to the left and say, how can I help support? Because I believe raising tides raise all boats when you have the right people in place.
I mean, how are you going to how are you going to know if you found it if you don't know what you're looking for?
Exactly.
I mean,
So
it's one of
that
those.
is, yeah, go ahead.
It's one of those simple things where just like, duh, right, Chad? I think we've talked about this before, Chad. Like you're going out to try to find a spouse. How do you know what the heck you're looking for if you haven't detailed what you're looking for?
It's how I
fail
found
forward. Gotta fail forward.
Yes, but and you're right. And right, failing forward, yet how many people are just doomed to repeat the same mistake again and again and again, instead of failing forward and learning from it so that the next time you fail, okay, yet you failed from ahead and didn't fall as far back. That's the difference, folks. What I want to ask you, Sarah, how quickly do you recognize that they fooled you? Right? Because somebody gets recruited to the organization that makes you believe they're a team player, makes you believe that they value leverage, makes you believe all the things you're looking for. I mean, the numbers won't lie. They truly sold or didn't sell, whatever that number is. Yet, how long does it take you to recognize they fooled you? And do you then work with them to correct it? Or is it, oh, nope, shame on us. You aren't a fit. Have a nice day. And we move on from you.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. So what I would say, what I would say to that is that we actually start that process from like day one of the recruiting process. It is easier to know if someone's in culture when you have a relationship with them. You have seen them show up for years and years. Like some of our team members now, I've known for 2 decades. And so I see how they show up just in day-to-day life. So that is helpful, right? A warm lead versus a cold lead. But what we've really dialed in is our recruiting process. It is very slow. We're very slow to bring someone in our world. And so it's a 4 to 7 step process. I probably invest 15 to 20 hours with these experienced agents prior to getting to a yes. So what I will say, since we made this shift 18 months ago, we have had not one person leave our world. Okay. When I was not doing the work up front and we were quick, right, to get to that yes, we did have misalignment, right? We had people come in that said that they wanted to make calls and call their sphere and protect it, but then they were so call reluctant, right? They didn't pick up the phone. And that doesn't work. So we also in this process figured out what we call our non-negotiables. Okay. A day in the life of my Brivity database is a non-negotiable. It's a standard in the team, right? Our calling our sphere every 90 days. It's trackable in Brivity. So these things that, we're still gaining clarity and we've got to we're actually making those non-negotiables very simplistic now. And we're getting those commitments up front. But
isn't it crazy? Like, I feel like partnering with an agent like you're doing in real estate, it's like as complicated as a marriage and we just rush into it, right? We're like, there's a contract involved. There's the commingling of stuff. We bring their stuff into our database. It's all commingled in there now, right? Like we got to show up every single day at the office and interact with this person. So there's emotions involved. And sometimes we just rush into these things.
Yeah.
I love that you're taking
You have to take it that seriously. Like in the process, I do say, like, we are looking for long-term partners. Like we are getting work married. Our contract reflects it. And so, yes, we have a prenup in there if and when it doesn't work. But that's why vulnerability, I think, is a key to any successful relationship. And that is our expectation. And we set that up front. So that's not a fit for everyone, right? But that's okay. We're not looking for everyone. We're looking for the right one.
Bob, can we take it now?
Yeah, let's shift gears.
Right? Okay. So everybody, if you're looking to grow your organization, go back, watch the first 15 minutes of this again.
I think the best thing I heard in those first 15 minutes is know who you're looking for. Like hands down, and in anything, whether it be your spouse or your next business partner.
If you don't have a missing persons report for who you're looking for, you're never going to know how you found them. I believe that wholeheartedly to help me find my wife. Now, let's go to the other gear and let's talk about, now they've joined you. We want to take them from here to there, right?
Which is really challenging, by the way, Sarah. They've been hitting here for the last 2 or 3 years, most likely, right? Some of them maybe 8 years or 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do we
Help
do
us
it?
get there. Help our audience
Yeah.
hear some of the things you're having these people do that they could go do when they get off this webinar as well.
Yeah. So it's actually very simple. The first domino is protecting the database. So this is how our analogy is. All right. Most solo agents are lead receivers. So they've built this database, most of them 5, 6, 10, let's say a decade on average. And most of the time, from my experience, they're hitting between 30 and 40 units. Okay. And they've built that organically. The phone rings, the lead comes in, they transact, and those 40, they go into that database. But I will say very confidently, 80 to 90% have never made an outbound call to call and love on those people after they've closed. So if you think about it, let's just say they did 25 units for the last 10 years. Okay. That's 250 past clients. They've probably got another 250 sphere. So they've got a 500 person database that should be yielding between 50 and 60 units if you're working it correctly. So here's how I look at it. That database is a house. That house has the AC on high and all the windows are open. So they've got people coming in and those are slowly trickling out because they're not protecting what's right in front of them, even more so now than ever. When we used to not call our database, the likelihood of someone else calling them was also low. Now it is like next to impossible for that person's data to not be somewhere and being touched.
That's a great point right there.
If your database right now is thinking about real estate in their head, I promise you this, there's 100 real estate ads that will get shown to them today on the internet. I know that much.
Which is why 85 or whatever the stat is, 85% of agents or clients would use their agent again. Why do you more so now than ever, they're not going back to that agent because they've forgot and they're being targeted, and technology is so savvy that they are going somewhere else. So we're going to see the greatest transfer of business in the next few years. If you are not protecting your database, they're coming after it.
So how do you develop the term would be mind share, right? You're protecting your database. It's having mind share. It's when I say to Bob, name for me a brand of sneaker, he's going to say to me, Nike, right? Because it doesn't might not wear them, yet that's who's in his head. And like Bob's saying, if they're thinking about real estate, you can be sure ads are showing up because they've typed something into the internet that's now feeding them. Okay, what's the system Sarah and the team use to retain and develop mind share with your database, your spheres, so they only think you and they don't even realize they just saw an ad for Joe Schmo real estate?
Yep. Yes. And very simply, it's our Brivity database. And so I used to say the best database is the one that you use. That's no longer the case. They're not all created equal. Okay. So the first piece of heavy lifting we do is we get their database cleaned, meaning we get a phone number, email, mailing address, we get them into Brivity, and we get market reports set up. It's the very first domino we do. The market report is one of the, we'll just call it magic bullets, that when you have a 500 person database, how do you know which person is going to be ready, right? If 10% of those people are buying this year, so we've got 50 people, you've got to know when they're ready. And when someone's ready, they're going to show you, right? They're going to be curious. You just need to see the curiosity visibly And that market report and our website activity is what is our trigger. So simply that market report is what we add on to every single person in our sphere.
Can you talk about I heard you earlier say a quarterly call.
Yes.
Do you guys like plan that? Do you just leave it to your agents to figure out what to say? What does a quarterly call in your world look like?
Yes. So in our process, so we have a filter set up in Brivity. All of our sphere is set up on a watch status. So in our system, watch means we call every 90 days. So in the filter, we have a tag that says it's tagged our sphere. And the filter is no call in the last 90 days. So they go into that filter and they click it, and it will pop up right after, if you're making 10 to 20 calls a day, after the first 90 days, then that filter is pretty automatic. So you're coming in and it should only be a handful of people a day. The heavy lifting is getting through the first 90 days for most people that have never made a call. And that call reluctance, most seasoned agents that have never made a call, what do you think the first thing they think of? Like, what do I say?
Yeah.
What do I say? So we have scripts built in, right, to it's either a care call or we do 4 events and 2 giveaways every year to bring some piece of value. And it's also driven back to our market report viewers and our website viewers. So all of those have scripts. It's very simple. And what we've found is that people want to hear from you, right? They don't want to think that they're just a commission check. So they, it's very surprising usually in that first 30 days, those seasoned agents, they're like, oh my God, people actually wanted to hear from us.
I love that you say that, Sarah, because too many people an audience, as you're watching this, listen, too many of you are overthinking what to say, right? If you just picked up the phone and said, hey, what's been going on in your world? Everyone will talk, right? They just want someone that'll listen, and they obviously had a relationship with you. I think it's great that you have multiple scripts, yet you don't know what to say. Just say that. And Bob, we've been talking about these duh moments that we get. I just got one, as Sarah was saying, that everybody's out there planning, what's the system I'm going to follow to call my sphere in the next quarter, right? I'm going to do, I've got 500 people and there's 60 business days. So I've got to call 8 people a day, or whatever system they're following that's out there. Yet if you just search everybody who hasn't had a call in the last 90 days, you know who you need to call. Right.
But here's what happens.
90 days, it'll be tough, but quickly you'll figure it out.
Right. But here's the mind hack for that, because it will be tough, because you'll get in there, Sarah. And if you were, the person we've been talking about today, I'll jump in there and I'll have 500 people to call. And I'll think, oh my God, I can't call all these people. But like you said, I got 3 months to do it. I've got 60 days. Chad, that was really impressive math, by the way, because if I had 90 days, I'd have 60 working days. Yep. Yeah, take away the weekends. I need to call about 8 a day to call 500. And so that in the beginning, it looks like a lot, but I'm not going to call all 5. I'm just going to call 8 today. Then I'm going to call 8 tomorrow. And then I'm going to call 8 the next day. And at the end of 90 days,
simpler.
Yeah, at the end of 90 days, guess what will happen the next day I walk in? There'll just
those
be
8 are going to show up
in there waiting. And then the next day there'll be 8. And then there'll be 8.
Yeah. That's brilliant. I mean, and heck, if I just picked up the phone and just started calling, even if I didn't call 8, just called some, and the ones who looked at the market report that they just sent out and said, okay, I'll just start there. And then I'll grab this 17 people. And I saw these people at the grocery store. I'm going to go make a note of that. Great. 90 days from now, it's going to remind me to call them again. I never, ever would have thought to just build a filter that just said that I haven't called in 90 days. So it would just pick out the ones that I need to worry about.
Well, thankfully, we have an incredible coach, Bob Stewart, that has helped us. Bob knows.
Did I help with that filter?
I will tell you, heavy lifting. So,
Sarah, I've said this for a long time. If you guys, anybody listening here, if you use Brivity, like the filter inside of Brivity is like secret weapon number 2. By the way, Sarah, did you see what we dropped today? This is going to make, so if you go into Brivity inside of your phone settings in Brivity, this is going to be news for everybody. We now have caller ID where you can set your caller ID on your Brivity phone number. So I'll bet in the past, some of your people would say to you, "Oh, I just call them from my cell phone. I don't like to use the Brivity dialer because they don't know it's me." But now I can put Sarah Tadlock on there. So when I'm calling from the Brivity dialer, my sphere is just going to see Sarah Tadlock calling. So make sure everybody goes into phone settings and you set up your name in there. It's set by default, but just make sure that we got it right.
I'm doing it right now, Bob Stewart.
Incredible. It just keeps getting better. That is, that's amazing. Our business partner always says that we complicate things to justify our own inactions. So what we try to bring awareness to our partners, anytime you are overcomplicating it, you're probably resisting what you need to be leaning into. So it's always more simplistic than what you think.
Brilliant.
Anybody else's
Coinbase?
I'm getting hacked on Coinbase right now, I think, or they're trying. I don't know. I don't think I have anything in Coinbase. Sorry, side note.
Bob Stewart, let me ask you. You dropped a mention there, right? You said probably the filters is probably the number 2 secret weapon in Brivity. Now, not everybody has been listening to you as often as I get the pleasure, or we'll use the word pleasure of listening to you, Bob Stewart. What's the number 1?
The dialer.
There you go.
The dialer, right? Because Sarah knows that people that use our dialer, if you make one dial session in a month, you end up making 10 times as many calls as somebody that does no dial sessions in a month. It's the secret weapon.
I would 100% agree. And most people that, they've never made an outbound call to their sphere, using a dialer feels overwhelming. So what we've saw that as soon as they get in there and we challenge them to do one, it's like it just gives the wave of stress and call reluctance off that dialer goes away, and they see the efficiency. High performers love to be efficient, and that is what that dialer has created for us, and in a way that we can do more in less time. And you just get out of your own way.
Hey, this has been really awesome stuff. Do me a favor, as we're kind of getting close to wrapping up here, is there anything inside of Brivity that you use that you just think, man, I don't know if enough people use this thing? And I'm coming out of left field here. I didn't set you up for this. Everything else you kind of knew was coming. This is our first just straight curveball on you.
Yeah, I would say it for our team and myself is using the pipeline. Like, what most high performers want is predictability. And so if you have the ability to track and you do it correctly, you can actually accurately predict your income in 30, 60, and 90 days. So I believe the future of all of our businesses should feel safe, should feel predictable, and our technology is what enables it.
And guys, like, a lot of times when we do these, I'm inside of somebody's Brivity, kind of check in, like, and Sarah, good job. Like, you guys are using that pipeline stage, right? You guys are getting all those future deals that you've put buyer's agreements on. Like, you guys are using this thing perfectly back here from a reporting standpoint, a forecasting standpoint. I can see your coming soon listings in here. I can see all you got a big pipeline developing for the team right now, right? Like, great
folks,
job.
The takeaway from that for all of you is you never know when Bob's in your Brivity watching what you're doing or not doing at any given time.
I do have those keys. Sarah Tadlock, thank you so much. Like I said, you're guys in the middle of a big move. You guys got an awesome new grand opening coming on the new building. We're excited for you. Thank you for spending this time with us today and sharing with us what you've been doing for the last 12 months.
Thanks for your partnership, guys. You're amazing.
Awesome. Everybody, we'll see you next week, where we'll bring you another really, really intelligent person who's doing something awesome to grow their business. Chad?
I'll see them next week, Bob Stewart.
That's right. I'll actually be live with some of my friends. Chad, I'll see you next week. Who did we have?
Great guest. Don't miss it.
Yeah. Lucas Sheridan. Awesome guest. Sarah, bye.
Bye, guys.